Introducing the evil mutant warriors, Ratero, Vulture-Man, Groom the Destroyer, battle against Lion-O and the new Thundercat allies, Hatchiman, Snowman, Tusker Warrior. The battle is on for the Sword of Omen. Thundercats. Figures and vehicles each sold separately from LJN.
Hey everyone, welcome to Pop XP. And before the show starts, make sure to click that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications when we go live and we upload awesome new content. And don't forget, if you can, make sure to share our stream on all your social media outlets. We appreciate it, and thanks for helping us grow the Pop XP channel. Oh, the Pop XP ho!
Whoa!
What's up? What is up, fellas? Oh, it's a Monday show, a special Monday show. We don't do Monday shows.
Monday show.
This is a special
the Monday
event.
Slasher show.
Yes. Did you get a
This
facelift?
Yeah.
Did you get a facelift?
Your cheekbones look dynamite.
Yeah, man.
I
You've
know,
been
I
using
mean,
that
I've been
jaw
working out.
sizer? The jaw
I've been
sizer?
working out. This was my Halloween costume, the Kill Journal mask, and I think for the 25 people who got them, this was also their Halloween costume because I got tons of DMs saying, "Here's me for Halloween."
Yes.
It's super badass. These things. 6x6 made them. Took a little while for people to get them, but they're out in the world. Kill Journal is alive, which was promoted very prominently by Nile here at Pop XP. So I figured everybody should take a look. Boom. Another Indiegogo success.
There you go. Now those are made at a professional Hollywood prop house, aren't they? He didn't even hear me because he took his headphones off.
Just say yeah. Go ahead. It was
just say yes.
Just
say
yes.
Yes, totally. I'm fully agree with you.
Excellent. So you just got your film career, Blevins.
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of like a Baywatch type show, but we'll work out the details.
Man, I'm hoping that I could do the Bat Tootsie. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Like,
No,
I don't know why you aren't doing it right now.
Your masks were made at a professional Hollywood prop shop, right?
No, actually, somebody in the CG land, at 6x6 is his name. I got referred to him. But what I'm saying is this is what I would build for Escape the Night. This is what I build for any of my other shows. This is a high resin plastic. You can drop it. You can see, the build on it. It's got padding and all these pieces that hold it together. So it's really like a special piece. What's cool is after Halloween, it just goes on your wall as a rad item, and next Halloween, you're ready to go.
Nice. Well, we got an exciting show that I'm
ready to go. I had to jump on for this.
I was like, I got to reach out to Adam. I was like, we can't do this show and not have Adam.
No.
And of course, Blevins and I have been talking about this for a while. And he's like, I got to make it happen. I'm like, do it, dude. Let's make it happen. Let's do this.
Dude.
I would like to give the honors to Blevins for this, though. I want him to do the introduction. So, Blevins.
Oh, I don't know. Blevins.
Take it away.
Damn.
Man, so our guest tonight, absolutely the voice of a generation. Like his sound is known the world around. Like people know who this guy is. His characters are legendary. His voice is legendary, and he is legendary. Welcome, Larry Kenney.
Larry!
Boom! Larry's in the house.
What a nice introduction. Thank you very much. You made me blush a little bit there.
Larry, I think anybody...
You know who you are. Don't play it. You know who you are.
Larry, anybody who owns a television in the United States and probably abroad as well, who owns a television when they were a child, knows this voice, right? Anybody they know this voice, it's really exciting.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. No, definitely.
I love it when people come up, when people say what you said at the beginning there, when they come up to me at Comic-Cons and things and say, you were the voice of my childhood. And it really still kind of brings a tear to my eye, because back then, it was work, it was a job. I really enjoyed doing it, but who knew we were going to be talking about it, 35 years later, And who knew there was going to be this internet thing where we could do these crazy things like we're doing here, and everybody would know who you are, around the world. It's kind of hard to hide now.
Yeah. And we've kept it. We've kept that love for all these
Absolutely.
old shows and things that, you know, it's great to be able to talk to you, you know, since you were the voice of so many characters we love that, you know, you get nostalgic guys like me that hunt old CR TVs to actually watch these shows on like I did when I was a kid, you know, and it's funny because they still hold up for at least for me personally, they still hold up. And it's nice because I got to tell you, when you have a bad day, there's nothing better than I put my boys to bed. I ask my wife if she wants to hang out. She usually says, get away from me. So I say, okay, have a good night. And I go down to the man cave and I just turn on some classic cartoons and shows. And man, it's such an escape and I love it. And then thank you for working on those cartoons and bringing them to life. Bring them to life.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I'm a big fan too, you know. So, I mean, when I was a kid, I always tell people at Comic-Con, some people come up and say, gee, thank you so much for coming to our town and everything. And, you know, I know they're lined up out the door sometimes. But I tell people when I was a kid, when I was your age, and I knew that, oh gosh, Stan Lee was going to be in town. He was there around then too, you know.
Yeah,
he's always been around.
Yeah,
Stanley.
And he always will. Yeah, yeah. But I would have been the first guy in town, you know, to be in line at the local venue to see those guys, you know. So I know what it's like, and it's really nice to. Obviously, it's nice to have people come and tell you nice things like they remember all the stuff you worked on and. Nostalgia's great, isn't it? I mean,
it is,
and,
no
and it keeps coming back. It keeps coming back. Like, I mean, they're redoing all the Thundercats toys again. Yeah. I mean, you know, they've done 2 other reboots. You know, I don't really know what's up with the Teen Titans, the Steven Universe, Thundercats Roar, which I know you did the voice of Jaga on, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And man. Could not believe when I watched the animated the anime Thundercats from what was it 2012. I had when you played like the dad of Lion-O, it was just like I was like how absolutely insane was that? But yeah, man, Thundercats hit a real big mark with me as a kid because, and I don't want to get too like in depth into the mythos of Thundercats. But, you know, like these guys, they escaped their world. You know, you had Lion-O, who was the same age as the other kids, but his ship malfunctioned, and he got to lose his complete childhood. Yeah. And he got, you know, rushed into the forefront of being the leader of these group of people with a child mentality. And, I mean, I don't know, like it really, really resonated with me. I don't know why. I loved it. Your voice was incredible, and I still get chills when I hear the Sword of Omen, give me sight beyond sight. I don't know why, but it gets me every single time. Like, you know, everybody knows the Thundercats hoe, but man, that gets me pretty good. So.
Yeah. Well, Larry, I'd be curious, you know, was there how the voice was developed, right? I know because, you know, I've produced a lot of video game voice work and a lot of, you know, I have a television showrunner for a living, so, you know, and I'm just curious, what was the kind of the development process of coming to that sound, right? Or was there, or did you just show up and say, here's what I think it is? And they said, great.
Well, if you think about it, it's really just my voice. I mean, it's not, they told us the first day of auditions. I mean, I got a call from my agent one day, and he said, this is how the business works. Your agent will call you and say, okay, Monday at 2, you go to this studio, and you're going to be auditioning for a commercial for G.I. Joe. And then the next day, you're going to go over to this other studio and audition for a new animated show called Thundercats. So when I got there are already about 50 other guys there waiting to go in. And one of the first things they told us is, for the Thundercats themselves, we don't want cartoon voices, you know?
Interesting.
No, we don't want them to sound like cartoons because they're human, or they're part human. So now, of course, the mutants, Mumra and his gang, those are all they're really fun to do voices, all the nastiness, you know. And so I looked at the picture of Lion-O and everything, and keeping in mind what they said, we don't want anything cartoony. So I just did my own voice. I mean, if you think about it, I I sound right now like Lion-O sounded. The only difference is here talking with you guys, I sound like this, Sword of Omens come to my hand. I, Lion-O, command it. But on TV, it came out, Sword of Omens, come to my hand. I, Lion-O, command it. A little more dramatic.
Love it.
Yeah. Interesting. Gotcha. That's an interesting choice. So it came out there like, hey, play this straight. And obviously with the difference between you and I talking versus performance, right? You're acting it versus just chatting.
Sure.
That's interesting. And so then once you booked it there, it's like, great, we love this as is. Let's go with it.
Yeah, when they decided what they wanted, then we started doing the show. And also that first day, of course, I auditioned for it. They asked us to do, when I say us, I mean everybody who auditioned for the show, to do one Thundercats and to audition for one Thundercat and then for one mutant, the bad guy. So, I knew I wanted to do a Lion, though, because he's the star.
Yeah.
And
yeah, of course.
And Jackalman, I wanted to try him because when I first saw the illustration of him, the drawing of him, they had pictures on the wall of all the characters, what they looked like, little one paragraph synopsis about each character, and then what the show was all about, because it was brand new. And but I saw the picture of Jackalman, and kind of something about it told me that's the one I should do. First of all, a jackal. I've never seen a jackal, but I think they're kind of like wolves or but nastier, kind of sneaky, right? And wily. But we also had Wily Cat and Wily Kit, so I couldn't do that. But I remembered while I was in the waiting area there, trying to think about what he should sound like, Jackalman. I kind of channeled from my youth one of my favorite all-time cartoon shows, The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle. I'm sure you guys know that. Well, there was a guy on there, the villain on that show was called Snidely Whiplash. And he had a Snidely Whiplash. He had a big mustache, like this black top hat, the black cape, and all that. And he was always trying to catch this girl, Nell, and he sounded like, I'm going to tie you to the railroad tracks, Nell. So I thought, maybe that'll work for Jackalman. So that's kind of what I was doing, the Snidely Whiplash.
Nice. Now, how many characters did you voice on Thundercats? Because you did quite a few.
We all did. Well, there are only 5 of us in the cast, and we did every voice on the show. So 130 episodes and hundreds of characters. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many we each did. I don't even remember all the ones I did. A few I can remember are Safari Joe and Rataro. And I'm sure I was one or two of the Rober Burbles,
Burbles.
Yeah. So how did that work? Were they just like, hey, Larry, we got this character. This is what we need. We need you to come up with a voice for it. What do you got?
Yeah. Once we started, we knew who was going to be Lion-O, who was going to be Chitara and all that kind of stuff. Chitara, whom I refer to lovingly as the original Thundercats Ho. But Linton didn't think it was funny. But
did you get
we got the main voices sorted out. You're going to do this and you're going to do that. And then once we started the show, we had to, when they added a new character, for example, generally what would happen is Lee Donaker, who was our director, she would say, okay, we've got this new character, and she'd show us an illustration of him, and we'd already seen the script, of course, and she'd say, we want him to be kind of this, kind of that, we don't want him to be this and that. So who wants to try him? So of course we all would try, basically auditioned again, and we kind of decided amongst ourselves most of the time which one we all thought sounded best, and we also had to keep in mind, especially as the show went on and we were doing more and more characters, you had to keep in mind when a new character came out that they wanted you to do, you got to be careful it doesn't sound like another character that you've already done, or to somebody else. So it had to be a whole new area every time. That got to be a little dicey toward the end of the show after 130 episodes. As a matter of fact,
this is amazing that it's like the roles you're just talking amongst yourselves. You're like, who do you think you should do?
yeah,
And like
yeah.
the way that came out so organically, that's such an incredible thing. Like, now when I do animation pieces, or particularly the game space, the max that lets you do is 3 characters. And so really what's happening is you have 120 actors you're going to see to fill this game up.
Yeah.
And so it's amazing that I'm sure as a performer that was incredibly fun and kept the show really new to you, even though obviously Lionel was your main squeeze. Like the show was always new to you as a performer.
Very good point, Adam. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that, but yes, it did. I mean, if you were coming in there every day and doing the same thing every day, the same, only one voice, it would be all right. But this made it a lot more fun, that's for sure. To come up with new voices and to kind of, our group was the greatest group I've ever worked with. Not just the cast, but the directors and the recording engineers, everybody. It just all came together. And then, of course, the animators, it was animated beautifully. The music, they played that music for us the first day and everybody went, oh my God.
Yeah.
This is it. Yeah.
That's a cartoon show. There hadn't been any music like that on a cartoon show before. That kind of heavy metal sound. And I think that was a big reason why the show caught on originally is, you hear that music and you say, I got to watch this. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. When it starts at brown, it snaps you in. You're like, get ready.
Thundercats are loose. Yeah.
Yeah. What actually though, when I got older, is funny because I didn't realize that Rankin Bass was the producer for this cartoon. I had no clue because everyone was familiar with them with all their Christmas classics.
There you go.
That's when I was stuff.
Yeah, when I was a kid, those were on TV.
Yeah. But then they were producing Thundercats, Silverhawks, Tiger Sharks, which we talked about. I mean, they really had their foot in the game for a while there.
Oh yeah,
with their cartoons. And I think Thundercats obviously has lived on. Silverhawks, we some of us still hang on to. And I don't know if anyone. I like Tiger Sharks. I don't know if anyone else did, but I cared for that one. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
But that was neat. But that was kind of their last hurrah, though.
It was. I think I never had a chance to discuss it with them. When the show ends, it just ends.
Yeah.
But amongst the cast, we kind of talked about it. I think the thing with Thundercats, with Tiger Sharks, is those 3 shows, Thundercats, Silverhawks, and Tiger Sharks, if you think about it, were really the same theme, basically. A group of characters trying to save the world from whichever villains, wherever they are, whether they're in space or they're under the water, whatever. But I think they just ran out of ideas for, what can this group of people do? And that happens with any, Adam, I'm sure with any effort, anything you're producing becomes a big hit, okay? And then after a while, you go, shit, what are we going to have them do now? We had them do that, we had them do this. So,
no, I know. I was a showrunner and I wrote all the episodes. If you can imagine, for a TV show, I was showrunner for 4 seasons. I wrote every episode, and it was called Escape the Night. And in part of this show, the characters would always have to solve these puzzles and overcome these challenges, right? And because they were like trapped in time, and they had to defeat these monsters, et cetera, to get back to the modern world.
Yeah.
And each season there was 160 puzzles and challenges they had to solve, right?
Wow.
So if you can imagine, by season 4, I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need a new puzzle. I gotta have a new puzzle.
So I need some inspiration.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. Unfortunately, sometimes the writers plunk out, even though you guys can deliver great stuff from the cast standpoint, for sure.
Well, we had the best people. I think that was the best cast that certainly I've ever worked with. And we all worked together so long because we did so many things for Rankin Bass. I mean, usually on a cartoon show, you go in and that's the show you're on. If you get lucky, you get another one, maybe a few years later, but these came bang, bang, bang. As a matter of fact, we started recording Silverhawks before we finished the last couple episodes of Thundercats. One day we'd be in the studio doing Silverhawks, and the next day Thundercats. But we were together for so many so many years. If I think about it now, it probably took 5 or 6 years from beginning to end, from the beginning of Thundercats till the last. Well, we did the shows, the series, and then we did those holiday specials I told you about.
Yeah.
Some of them still run today. Star for Jeremy was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
There was one great one. It was actually claymation called The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus.
Yeah, that was 1985.
Huh?
Was that 1985, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
No,
That's a good movie, you know, and it was, you know, everyone kind of harps on a much older, a film, you know, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Year Without a Santa Claus, but that's a good movie. I do have that one in my collection because you get one of those obsessions, you know, where it's like, I need every Rankin Bass movie I can find. And
it was,
you just have to.
It was really well done. And again, as a matter of fact, it was those of us, and I think everybody from Thundercats was in that, plus a few more people that were not in Thundercats and so on. But also in it was Sir Alfred Drake. And that was a thrill to work with him. If you guys are familiar with Sir Alfred Drake, he's one of those British actors, you know. Well, he's Sir Alfred, so he's, you know. And it was so marvelous. And we were all kind of scared before we had met him, and we thought, this is going to be one of these British actors, you know, from all these Shakespearean roles and all that, and he's going to be a real prick. But nothing could be further from the truth. He was a lot of fun. If you get a chance, if you haven't seen it, anybody, it is really well done. I always consider it not so much a cartoon program as it's animated. Well, it's not animated either. It's claymation.
Stop motion.
People today still remember.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
I love stop motion. I think CGI and those works have taken obviously a lot. You know, traditional animated films are pretty much ceased to exist. You know, CGI is everything now, but there's a couple British and European production houses that are still doing classic traditional stop motion. But that's one thing about Rankin Bass is you watch that, even like if you go all the way back to Rudolph, and there's one, they did one prior to that. I can't think of the name of it, but if you just look at the detail, and what I love about it is how they get dirty. Because back then, like, their hands are all dirty, and you see because those are finger marks and stuff on there. I mean, all those little details as you catch on, it's so cool. But obviously, throughout the years, that started to go away because production got better and things of that nature.
Well, the thing about it is, I mean, that the stop motion stuff that Leica House is doing, they're West Coast based here. Paranorman was one of theirs, right? And they're doing incredible stuff. But yes, they are doing background mapping, a lot of that, the deep background map painting in CG, because it's just so much easier. But I agree. There is something fun about something that's maybe a little broken. You know what I mean? Like you said, smudges. You know what I mean? It's smudging, right?
Well, I mean, I think that's probably why you don't see
primitive.
Yeah, exactly. But it's character to it. It's character to it because you almost see the hard work put into it, and you're enjoying the songs and their, you know, because their movement is just kind of jolly. You know, everyone just moves around like, you know. I mean, I look forward to it every year. Like my kids are going to be tortured because every day up till Christmas, once December 1st comes, we'll be watching one of those every night.
Yeah. Well, the other early Rankin Bass thing from when I was a kid, you mentioned. Which one did you mention? Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Well, they had Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeer, but there was one before that, which I think was
Frosty the Snowman.
Was their very first?
I think it was their first. But those are the two big ones. Burl Ives was in Rudolph. He was the narrator for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And Fred Astaire was the narrator on Frosty the Snowman.
Yes.
Did I get those wrong? Whatever.
It was Google it. Google it.
It was 100 years ago. Nobody knows.
Now, Larry, I have to ask because I know you had mentioned it, and I've seen this. I actually saw a clip of it today. You hosted a game show.
Yeah, I did for 3 years in New York. Back in 1976 to 79, I think. Bowling for Dollars was the name of it.
And how did this game show go, Larry? What was the name? Bowling for Dollars? What was that?
Exactly what it sounds like. We taped the show at the Madison Square Garden Bowling Center. People would come on the show and they would bowl. And if they got first ball was a strike, they got, I don't remember, $50. Another strike is $100. You get 3 strikes, you get something like $500 and a scarf. Midas mufflers were one of the sponsors, and so you got a Midas muffler. Get it?
Oh yeah,
yeah. I thought it was clever. And if you got 4 strikes in a row, you got a brand new car. So we gave away those. Yeah, it was fun. It was.
Well, I would have struggled to make $50 on that show, so that would have been a rough one for me, Larry.
That was a lot of money back in 1977. I tell you.
Yeah. It's true.
I'll tell you, you had that game show host voice down though.
I thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, that was.
Did you develop a lot of that from your time as a DJ? Is that where you honed that?
Probably. Yeah, probably. I was a disc jockey since I was 15 years old professionally.
Jeez.
And so I've done just about everything in the business. I mean, I've been in a couple of films, nothing that you would know. Give you a little hint about the films I was in. One of them was called the Mantis Murders. It's about a guy. Somebody is killing all the praying mantises in this town. So
because we have such a big praying mantis problem in towns.
Yeah, I mean, they're such a dangerous thing for humans.
I know. People today don't understand that because we don't have that mantis problem anymore. But back then,
it's because this guy murdered all of them.
Yeah, this guy murdered all of them. That's right.
He did his job.
I believe it or not, I don't even remember why, but I played Bill Clinton in that movie.
Really?
I don't recall. I was only in one little scene, did it for a friend of mine. But they had me, they grayed my hair all up and dressed me in a Bill Clinton type suit. And you could only really see me from the back and the side a little bit. Anyway, what was the point of the story?
You were an amazing Bill Clinton, yes.
You were amazing Bill Clinton.
I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna be like, did you know that Larry Kenney played you in a movie? He's gonna be like, what?
Next time you see him, you tell him. Oh, I know what it was. My scene was I'm in the I guess it's supposed to be the Oval Office. They don't show you. I'm coming out the door of probably the Oval Office, and all I'm supposed to do is turn to one person and say something that they had written, we'll work on that and we'll see if we can't get something done about it, And then they said at one point they called me back in and said, we need just you to say one more thing. As you're coming out the door, you're walking out with another guy. So we need you to say something to him, maybe about what just happened in there, just whatever comes to you. Mm-hmm. So I said, all right, action. And I walked out and I looked at the guy and I said, boy, that girl made my knees knock, I'll tell you what. And they left it in.
Jeez, they left it in.
That's amazing.
Well, I've done a couple of films like that. I've done, of course, the game show on TV. I did a couple of soap operas as like a waiter, Mm-hmm. I did a comedy album called The Honest to God, We Really Mean It Very Last Nixon album. And it was. And
it was the very last.
I've done everything in this business from what I mentioned to you to early in my career when I was living in Cleveland, and before that, Fort Wayne, Indiana. I was the announcer at a stock car track, race cars.
Yeah.
Stock
car. These are things from another time. It's awesome.
I know. I love that job because before the race, each race started, I would, on the PA system say, now coming out for the next race. And number 25 or once, and they're off. And now once the thing starts, the race starts, you can't hear anything. It's that, and even over
sure,
you can't hear anything. And I discovered that after about 2 weeks. And I would come home and my voice would be just totally wrecked from yelling. So what I started doing, and nobody noticed it, was once it got loud, I would go, turn 3.
You decided to Pearl Jam it up, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Larry, do you mind if I ask, like, have you been invited to any shows overseas, like in the UK and stuff?
Yeah, I almost went to Wales a couple of years ago, but something happened. They had to. It was being sponsored, paid for, I think, by the Wales Cultural Society or something like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And this young guy they hired to do it was a really nice young man. He called me. We had everything set up, you know, and just almost time to get my plane tickets and stuff. And he got back to me and he said they decided they couldn't afford to pay for a hotel and airfare and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, well, it's a nice time to find out, but maybe we'll do it next airport. Because I'm not going to pay my own airfare and stay in a hotel myself to come over there. You know? Yeah. But I wish I could have gone. Maybe sometime. I did one in Canada, in Toronto. That's out of the country. Mm-hmm. But
over in the UK, like they had I don't know if you know this, but a lot of the 80s cartoons is like Transformers, He-Man, G.I. Joe, Thundercats. Like they were so huge over in the UK. They were actually bigger than they were here in the States. Like you know, here Marvel and All Star, some of those companies that got the rights to do the comic books like Thundercats and Silverhawks and stuff. Like, you know, they only went up to like issue 18 or whatever. Yeah. But over in the UK, like Thundercats is like up to 50, you know?
Really?
Mask, like Mobile Armor Strike Command, there's like 60 issues of a comic book when we only got 2 like 5-issue series.
Yeah. Wow.
And I just was kind of curious if you were surprised about how crazy people were about Thundercats over in the UK.
It does surprise me. I have, though, come across many people from the UK at Comic-Cons, you know, either have moved here or they came over for a Comic-Con. And they're always telling me how big Thundercats especially was over there.
It's awesome.
Hope to go there sometime.
Now we have a serious
I'm not
question.
Any younger, you know.
Blevins, send them over there. Come on.
Oh, serious question. No, we don't allow serious questions. I'm sorry. Who's that?
So North Free, I have a serious question for Larry, Pop XP, the pop culture experience. Do voice actors get their vocal cords insured like a pianist with their hands?
This one doesn't. Although, you know what? I did at one point, and I forget why I did it. Somebody talked me into doing it. I had a policy with Lloyd's of London.
Oh, the insurance.
You did. So this is not a myth. This is the real thing. You get insurance on your voice. And how much, Larry, if something were to happen to your voice, would the Lords of London give you?
Well, my policy, I think, was $1 million.
It's pretty standard.
Pocket change, really, but yes.
Yeah, a couple of weeks' work.
Couple days.
I didn't have it very long. I thought it sounded great. I'm insured. My voice is insured with Lloyd's of London. You know, it wasn't a ridiculous idea though, because the reason I did it, my agent was talking. Many of his clients had done it. Maybe his famous actors, you know.
Of course.
Because if something should happen to you, you know, with most insurances, even the major insurance companies in this country, let's say I something happened and I had an operation and I lost my voice completely or whatever. Well, they're not going to pay you anything because you can still find work in another area.
Yeah.
You're not unemployable. You know, they would tell you, I said, could I get, $1 million because I can't? No, I'm going to find another job, you know. So, but Lloyd's of London, as far as I know, was the only insurance company in the world that would, if you paid your premiums and something happened to my voice, they would just give you the money, no questions asked. Mm-hmm. And in terms of not forcing you to find other kind of employment, because I have no other skills. I don't know what the hell I would do.
I will say
it's a one-trick pony here.
Yeah, Lloyd's will insure anything. Lloyd's of London, they insure.
That's right. That's how they kind of made their fame around the world. Is they will insure almost anything as long as you pay the premiums.
Did like as a voice actor, did you get to hang out with the other voice actors from any of the other 80s shows? Like, I mean, did you ever get to meet like the Alan Oppenheimers or the John Irwins or any of the people from like the other cartoons. Like I
Not-
don't know if there was a group, you know.
Not back then. And I think probably the main reason for it was when we did Thundercats, that was the first cartoon show, animated series that was ever done in New York. I mean, they had all been done in California. You know, Disney, Warner Brothers.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's funny because I live on Animation Row, right? Because I'm downtown Burbank, so out my door, my condo's right there above the promenade there. And so when you look out on one side, you see Nickelodeon, and look to the other side, you see Cartoon Network, and a little down the ways is Disney Animation, right? So they're all right.
Sure.
It's all right here. I mean, as far as U.S. animation goes.
Animation Row, huh? I like that.
Yeah, it's really where the vast majority of all animation, certainly in the United States, originates from.
Sure.
It's just right here in Burbank, just a couple miles away.
I love it.
No, very similar to Nile's Fishing Pond, actually, in credibility and in world fame. But I know what you're saying. You know, so many people around here are animators are in that, and it's really unique. I agree. It's not a New York based thing. It really, it just isn't. Yeah,
used to be
much more now. But still, I think LA is much bigger than here. But back then, as I said, as a matter of fact, when my agent called and I talked with other actors from the show later about this after we got the job, that we couldn't believe that they're going to do a cartoon show in New York. So when my agent called and he said, "You're going to be auditioning for this new animated cartoon show." What? Am I going to have to go to LA? No, it's going to be right here in New York. So that was one of the reasons, I think. And another one was even now, I don't get to see, the only place I see Alan Oppenheimer and Paulson is at Comic-Cons, because most of those guys are West Coast actors.
Yeah.
So we never got together very much, you know, very rare when somebody would come in to do a couple of things that was from LA. So no, there wasn't really a large colony of us in New York. And we liked it that way.
No,
you
own that turf.
We'll just take all the jobs, you know, because there's nobody else.
Now, are you set up? I know a lot of voice actor friends of mine. They work from home. They have their own booths and stuff at home, and now they don't really travel much. They get, you know, here's your assignment. They record it from home and then send it out. Is that how you're primarily working, or are you still traveling to studios?
Well, the last couple of years, you know, everything's been from home because of COVID.
Sure.
Of course. Even before that, though, it was starting to go the way of home studios. And because of if you got a computer and GarageBand, which I do, and a good microphone, you can.
I mean, the thing about you can do so much, and the thing about it is, to be honest, it's such a better way to go. I know lots of times I also produce in the commercial world, the TV commercial world too. It's just so much nicer because you can just literally say you can send lines out, especially when you're doing quick promos. You just send lines out. And then just come back in the next day. You don't have to pay for a studio. People don't have to come in, like the scheduling thing. All just disappears, right? It can just be, especially, and it's so, at least for myself, I think on the producing side of it, unless you're getting in and you need like a character that you need to really sort of like nuanced performance, you'd rather do it. You'd actually just rather do it from home.
Yeah,
right?
sure. I can understand how, from the producer side of things, it's so much better, save so much money and all that stuff.
So much time.
I don't care for it. I don't care for it the way things are going today, because I miss working with other actors. I miss being in the studio.
Fair enough.
I think almost most actors, I think, certainly I know for myself, I work much better. My quality of my work is higher when I'm working with other actors, because you're kind of competing in a way, or you like with Thundercats. Every time we worked, I looked around that group and I thought, how lucky I am to be with these people, you know.
Totally.
Some of the best in the business. So the thing about now, when you do, even when I do go in the city now, in New York, I'm always alone in a booth. Even if you're doing a commercial that has 3 other people on it, for some reason these days, well, you would know, Adam, they want to bring each person in individually, record all their lines, say goodbye, and then they chop it up and put it with everybody else's line. You don't see other actors. And
no, I know. And to be honest, it's really a loss. I was working on this video game called Faction Armageddon, and we really pushed hard to get all the cast to come in together. and we put, headsets on them actually, so they could actually act. You could actually walk around and perform the scene so that you could create something that was meaningful. Because I agree, where it's just like, hi, guy comes into the booth, rattles off 50 lines, he disappears. Lady comes in, she rattles off her 50 lines, and like you match it together. The performance ends up just kind of stiff, right?
Yeah.
In the end, and we really kind of fought hard for that. We did the same thing with Saints Row. Where like because when you brought him in, it really is transformative, and I agree with that. From like when you talk about nuanced performance in a scene, it kind of stinks just one at a time. I agree.
So many times one of us would say, like I would do a line or something, and maybe Bob McFadden or somebody would say, "Hey, Larry, I just had an idea. If you like it, maybe when you do that thing, you put a little thing in there, you know what I'm saying? You're always getting tips from the other actors too,
Well, and you feed off their energy too.
Feed off the energy, definitely feed off the energy. Yeah. So I am an old-fashioned guy in terms of that. I don't like the way things are going now, but and the thing about recording at home, it's fine. You don't have to leave your house. I kind of like leaving the house once in a while because she's here all day and all night, But, I kind of enjoyed, even though it was like an hour train ride each way to work. I just like getting on the train, getting to New York City, into a studio, and this is where it all happens. And there's something about that makes me energized, as opposed to coming in here and closing the bathroom door and turning the mic on.
Yeah.
I still do it, and I'm still good at it, I think. But I think I just miss, where it was. Another thing about doing it at home, from what I understand from the guys who are doing it now, I don't have a studio here. Like I said, I have the computer, of course, and I use GarageBand, and that's good enough. The quality on that is good enough for auditions, like to send in auditions to my agent or to an advertising agency. It's nice not to have to go all the way into the city to do 2 minutes of an audition and come back home, That part of it I like. But now my agent tells me what's going to start happening more is if I get a job, they want me to record it at home. They want me to edit it. You know what I'm saying? And package it up, send it off to them. And I'm just egotistical enough as an old time actor. I say, what? No, that's not what I do. I do this. I don't do this.
And the editing, that's maybe crossing the line, right? That's like,
well, that's what's happening is they're recording from home, putting it in the booth, whether it's for a private client or an entertainment client, and they have to edit. I know a couple voice actors here in Connecticut where I am, and they have all the booths that go in, but they're doing the editing and they're sending it off as part of the package.
And not only that, but this. I got to do all the lighting. I got the little ring,
I got the ring as well.
Yeah.
My buddy Justin Strom also is a inspiring voice actor, and he also had the Blue Yeti, which I had to get an actual blue one because I didn't want to live a lie. But I had to get a blue one because any other color is just a lie. But he said they actually reached out to him and they told him that his quality was no good and that he had to go get one of the new Shure SMBs. That is the new that's the new standard for the recordings.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing too. I'm not ready to totally retire. I can still work, and I'm 74, but I feel like I'm 23.
You don't look 74.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. It took a lot of work this afternoon getting
it. to get it to that.
Like I'm wearing lots of makeup. But
so your mic actually is blue, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Mine's called Blue, the Blue Yeti mic, but it's made of titanium. Maybe that's why it's not blue.
Yeah, we went blue.
There's actually no blue in it involved.
Yeah. I was like, why are all these blue Yetis like silver and black? I was like, it's just false advertising.
And it doesn't look like a Yeti.
Yeah.
Well, I'd be curious about
part of the Yeti?
Why are these not made in the Appalachian Mountains?
Was there some roles that you went out for along the way that when you know, because now we're looking back at Thundercats and we see what it is. Were there roles on other animated shows that you went out for that maybe you didn't get, or maybe roles you turned down that then now later you realize, shoot, why did I? Yeah.
Not really. I've been asked that quite often.
Not really.
Well, I don't mean to sound egotistical, like I'm not saying that if I read for a role, by God, I got it, because no, that's not.
By God, I got
but I honestly can't think of one that, like, let's say I tried out for He-Man. He-Man or G.I. Joe or something and didn't get it, and I wish I had.
Right.
It's kind of like, the same thing with commercials. I did, for 40 years, I was the voice of Count Chocula on commercials. They're frightfully delicious, Count Chocula, see you. I even got this thing. There he is.
Count Chocula. I really love Count Chocula.
That guy sent my kids through college.
Jeez.
Him and Coco, Sonny the Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, Sonny.
There he is. Yahoo! I'm Cocoa Puffs.
Now, which one do you prefer?
Man doing a voice of a bird for a living.
Why do you only do chocolate-based cereal characters?
Chocolate-based cereals.
Yeah, he doesn't do strawberry. Strawberry.
Yeah, they're like,
chocolate.
We need you to voice the son from Raisin Bran. You're like, nope.
No. But my point was that I had those two for 40 years. Which is a pretty good run for anything. The second longest I've ever had was, those are both, one's 40, I think Count Chocula I did for 40 years and Sonny for 39 years.
Wow.
And the next
that
one
is crazy.
Whoa.
It's wild, isn't it? Even my friends in the business say, you got to be kidding me. And I'm getting pretty good close to that now with Skittles, the Skittles candy commercials.
Yeah.
I've been doing those for, I think, 23 years. I'm the guy at the end of every spot that says, feel the rainbow, taste the rainbow.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I actually found that out today.
That is not real.
This can't be real.
It's real.
Taste the rainbow. I mean,
dude, look, I know you probably can't see it, but I got chill bumps because I couldn't believe it.
I mean,
I definitely did not know that.
Larry is the secret weapon of Hollywood. He has been the voices that have tied generations together. The Skittles sound, the Cocoa Puffs, Thundercats. I mean, this is pretty amazing. His talent is
the voice of a generation, not like that guy that did that thing that one time. Like voice of a generation. Not like
our hearts
years
and
ago,
our tongues.
that did that voice.
Remember the guy from the Popeil Fisherman ad? I know him.
I know. Yeah.
TJ James.
I've been very, very fortunate and very blessed. It's been a great career.
It sounds like it's been really just incredible.
It has.
It's
by the way, you mentioned video games, Adam, right? You're doing some of those too, right?
Yeah.
I've been doing quite a few of those now lately. That's a lot of fun too. Mm-hmm. I did Grand Theft Auto 4 back a long time ago.
Oh, no way.
The newest one I'm on is Red Dead Redemption 2. You guys gamers?
Yep.
Rockstar Games. Do you know Darren Bader from there?
Who?
Darren Bader.
Sounds familiar.
He's one of the guys in charge over there at Rockstar that did Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I may have met him. I actually only know the guys who come to the studio. Not the business office or anything like that.
Yeah.
But Red Dead was the first mocap I ever did. Motion capture.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Fascinating. I mean, my whole life has been going into a booth or a studio and putting headphones on, take the script, and you read the words. This one, pardon me, guys. This one.
Why did you mute it?
Yeah, we'll cut that out in post.
Yeah, we'll let that.
It's actually, I have a cough button. So you want to watch this. It works. But this one, Red Dead Redemption 2, I get to this, their studio, Rockstar Games, which is an old airplane hangar out in Long Island where Grumman is. In fact, they told me that that particular enormous building that is the stage is where they build a lot of the rockets for the moonshots.
Interesting.
How tall it is, anyway, you get there, and I don't want to take too long with this, but first of all, everybody knows what motion capture is, right?
For sure.
They put this suit on you. It's like a lycra or a spandex or something suit, covers you from your whole body, and it's black. And you have black boots. You have a black helmet that you wear. It has a bar that comes up like this, down, with a camera and a light right in front of your eyes the whole time you're acting, which is kind of rough to get used to. And then for about a half an hour, you just stand there and do different motions, so the computers can memorize the way you move in every situation. They do one where they say, okay, just your face. Okay. Smile broadly. Small smile. Frown. Scream. Oh, everything you can think of, they have you do. Lift this arm. Okay, this arm. By the time you finish, the computers have learned that if that character is going to do this, he's going to do it just like I do it. As a matter of fact, when you get out on the stage, the set, there are monitors all around. And as you're working, or as you're just standing around having a cup of coffee, you can look up and see yourself, see the character you're playing having a cup of coffee. You can wave at yourself. It's
That's cool.
The freakiest thing I've ever seen. It's so neat, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. You're muted, Adam. Adam, you're muted.
You're muted.
He's like,
and with the virtual camera, it's so fun because what happens is you perform a scene like the way we often direct it is you'll do the scene like a play when you're doing it in motion capture, right? You do it with all the motion, walking around, etc. Yep. And then once that data has been captured and you can show skins on the data points, right? Yep. Then you can direct the camera later. Yeah. So then you can put the camera for a close up here, and then he starts to walk, and then you change the camera. And so then you can build the scene. So you build the scene in the opposite direction of a traditional setup where you perform it, and then you can place your cameras. It's really allows for some incredible, opportunities.
The set itself is so different from a movie set or a TV set because there's no real furniture. There's no real anything. There are horses there, but they're actually 50-gallon barrels with a saddle on top of them and a broom thing for a tail. I got to ride horses all the time, but I never got on the horse. I mean, it's a 50-gallon barrel. It's magic.
Oh, that's incredible. Is it all green in there too? How is it?
No, it's
no. It's nothing to do with green. It's not actually capturing images. It's just capturing, the key,
capturing the motion.
The motion. Yeah, the motion. So you imagine the joints and all this kind of stuff. Because it's essentially just replicating your skeleton that then you tack on, you lay over it the animation on top of those points.
As a matter of fact, I was a little concerned because that's what they told me. Basically, we were only going to use your skeleton. And I thought, what the hell is this?
I like my skin.
I don't need the money that bad.
Come out of here.
I don't need the money that bad.
We just got a super chat from North Free. Thank you for the $10 super chat. That's not cheap. I have to express my admiration to Larry Kenney. Lion-O was a great role model for kids at the time, including myself. Thanks, Pop XP, for landing this great guest. Keep up the great work. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. North Free, right? That's the tag. Somebody's tag, is it? Or...
North Free.
North Free.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment.
Yes.
And I'm still blown away by the Skittles. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm still... it's going to take me a little bit to process that.
Well, Skittles, like I said, has been one of my longest running clients, and it's been the easiest one to do because every new commercial, there's only one new word. It's something the rainbow, taste the rainbow. Feel the rainbow, taste the rainbow. Discover the rainbow, taste the rainbow. Accelerate the rainbow, taste the rainbow. So I told him one time, I said, I don't mind coming in over and over. But we should just do what we should do is just hire me for a day or 2 whole days, book a studio, and we'll come in and record every verb in the English language. And I wouldn't have to come back every time.
That's incredible.
Well, I've got to run here, Nile and Larry. I guess we'll exit out together then. I've got a brand new baby, so my windows of time are
congratulations.
You just shrunk. Thank you, Larry. Thank you.
He's
only 3 months.
Do you mind before you go if you just tell us your best memory of the Thundercats being part of the Thundercats group?
aside from what I said earlier, just working with that incredibly talented group of people, that one of the highlights of my career. But in terms of fun, we always had it. We always had fun. If you ever heard the outtakes, you'll know how much fun we had in there. You've all heard the outtakes, right?
Well, they were part of the DVD, I think, right?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. Were they? They're on the internet.
They were part of the show. God, they weren't part of the Rhino set. They were part of the showcase set that came out.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
The new all-in-one plastic see-through. I don't know. Do you still get comps from that stuff? Like whenever they reprint them, do you get stuff from that? Like, no.
Those days are over. Back in the old days, and I'm talking back to the 60s, 70s, and 80s, when you did a commercial, like if I were doing the Count Chocula and Cocoa Puffs back then, they just send you whatever you want. If you want a case a month of that cereal, or 10 boxes a week, whatever you wanted, they would send it to you. But they don't do that kind of stuff anymore.
There was a search for the toy hunters, the Mad Bubbler. When they made the Mad Bubbler from Thundercats, the guy searched for that toy, and it was like it went for like some ridiculous amount. I just assumed that you guys got all those toys at the same time too. I guess not.
No, I'll tell you what. No, they never brought any toys in for us. But one of my greatest regrets in life is the last couple of recording sessions we did for Thundercats, Silverhawks, and Tiger Sharks. The last couple of days, the Rankin Bass people brought in big boxes of animation cells.
Oh.
And they said, guys, grab them, take whatever you want. We're just going to throw them away anyway. So I figured, what the hell, what are you going to do with these? So I grabbed 3 or 4 of them. I think I got one left, a Jackalman in here somewhere. But over the years, I've given them away to my kids, my grandkids, neighbors, and, friends. But today I go online and see some of these things are $1,000 each for a Lion-O animation cell. And that's before I signed it.
That's because they threw them. It's because they threw out the rest of them.
Drop.
Yeah. Well, who knew? Who knew? Like I said before, 35 years from now, people would still be talking about this stuff. You never. There's no way you're ever going to know that. When you do a show,
like the lotto.
Adam can verify this. I know when you're doing a show like with Thundercats. Let's say, okay, we started doing it, and the first few weeks were at lunch because this is really written well. It's good writing and music. And then we start getting ratings, and wow, we got a hit on our hands here. That's great. It's going to last a few years. But who knew that this amazing. Amazing.
Crazy.
All right.
Thank you guys. Larry,
Thank
a total
you.
pleasure.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Mr. Kenney. Absolutely
We'll see you guys later. The chat. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. I've had a great time. Go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Yep.
Oh, there's
before we go, if you guys ever want to hire Larry to do any a message or anything for a friend, a birthday, a business thing, event, head on over to Cameo. The link is pinned to the description of the show. The link is in the description of this episode as well. So you have it in the chat. You have it in the description below. You'll find it right there with that subscribe button in the bell. Yep. It's all there, so it's on the channel. So if anyone wants to hire Larry to do any messages, you have the links there.
Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it, and I'll make sure you get a check.
11 cents.
Thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure. It's been a lot of fun, and maybe we'll do it again sometime. Huh?
Oh, hope so. Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Larry.
Don't tip me with a good time. We'll make that happen. Really, honestly, complete honor. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Definitely we're legit fanboys. Love the 80s, love the cartoons. Like this has been great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Have a great evening.
If I can just thank everybody for watching Thundercats and being fans. Obviously, if it weren't for you, I'd be washing cars or something. I don't know, but I want to thank everybody, especially you guys.
All right. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Keep it up, and hopefully you'll come back on soon.
Anytime.
Definitely.
All right. Have a good one, everyone. Have a great night. And to everyone, tomorrow night we're going to be on live with That Star Wars Girl on Wednesday night at 9 p.m. So if you guys want to hang out, we're going to check out her new campaign, talk about some Star Wars and some other things she has going on. So that'll be Miss Anna, That Star Wars Girl, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Everyone have yourselves a great night. Be safe. We'll see you soon. And as always, Thundercats! Oh!
Hey,
I'm the only one that did it.
oh yeah, you can't take his line.
You should have had me. You should have me. I didn't even think about it. Usually, I end one of these things with the Thundercats.
Oh, well, we're still going.
There we go. We're still going.
Are you still on? Are you still quote on the air?
We're still live.
Sir. Yes, sir. We are.
Hell, I can do this without the lights on. You guys want to do it with me?
No.
No.
I'll do it with you. I want to hear you.
See if I can remember how it goes.
Oh.
Something like thunder, 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 Thundercats. Ho! Now goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on Pop XP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the Pop XP and over on Instagram at the Pop XP. Thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
Silverhawks, partly metal, partly real, mighty warriors with the powers to protect space from all evil.
Bustle's busting out. Shredder too. Stargazer seen us.
Figures with weapon birds sold separately.
Slybird, Surgery Report, Quicksilver, Activate Power Wings, Tallywhack, Engage Scissor Wings. Now take them down. Mumbo Jumbo and Airshot. It's hero stomping time. No way.
Buzzsaw with Shredder, Quicksilver with Tallyhawk. Other figures with weapon birds sold separately. Silverhawks, new from Kenner.